Hope you got to meet my little friend Bulbasaur here for my frog, standing in for our frog. This week's Parsha, we're talking about the first of the 10 plagues, the first 3 of the 10 plagues actually. One of those is the plague of frogs, the famous plague of frogs. And there's an incredibly interesting, to me, a medrash on this plague, on this idea. Sort of an additional story with some additional details, and it tells us that the plague of frogs wasn't just all sorts of frogs coming up out of the Nile River. It actually started as one giant Godzilla-sized kind of frog. And the Egyptians were terrified by this, or angry and upset, and they went and they hid it. They tried to kill this big frog. But it didn't just die, and it didn't go away. Instead, it either split into smaller frogs, or it started spitting out smaller frogs. And then they were still angry about this, and so they hit it again, and then there were more frogs, and they hit it again, and there were more frogs, and you see where this is going. So ultimately, the plague of frogs wound up being, in a very real way, their own fault. You see, they were so caught up in their anger, their fury and rage over what was happening. How dare this God that we don't know about challenge us and do this to us? And they should have realized very early on that the right move for them would have been stopping. If you hit the frog and a couple other frogs come out, maybe hitting it again is not the best idea. But they couldn't stop themselves. They were so consumed by their anger that they just got stuck and stuck and stuck. An incredible rabbi known as the Stipler tells us that this is actually a lesson for us to take from. You see, each and every one of us have that frog inside of us sometimes. We have something that happens to upset us, and we know that the thing we're about to say or the thing that we're about to do is not the right thing. We know we should just take our foot out of our mouth and stop and relax and take a minute to collect ourselves and move on in a positive manner, but we don't. We let that anger push us forward, and we say something that we know we shouldn't say, and then, okay, and I'm about to say something else I know I shouldn't say, but we just can't stop ourselves. It's exactly what happened to the Egyptians when they couldn't stop themselves hitting the frog. Every single one of us has that frog inside of us, but every single one of us has the ability to overcome that and stop. We're given this lesson because we have the ability to overcome that anger. We have the ability to respond appropriately, but we need to work on it. We need to recognize that jumping in with both feet when we're furious and enraged about something is usually going to lead to more heartache for ourselves. And the more heartache we can prevent, the happier we'll be, the better place the world will be. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been your moment of inspiration for this week from JSU of St. Louis. Take care. Bye, everybody.